They thought the search was ending, but what came next shattered everything. For days, hope lived in every prayer, every flyer, every trembling voice saying she will come home. People waited for good news. Families watched their doors, imagining Camila walking back inside. And then reality struck with a brutality no one was ready for. Take a breath. This video is the most horrific murder of Camila Mendoza Olmos, and today we walk through every detail step by step, carefully, without assumptions, only with facts, evidence, and the moments that changed this case forever. But here's where everything turns. Just when investigators believed they were close to answers, one clue surfaced. A small detail, almost invisible at first glance, and it flipped the entire story overnight. A message deleted. A location out of place. A final sighting that never aligned with the timeline. What if someone knew more? Why did a moment that looked normal suddenly become suspicious? And why did this discovery silence the room when detectives noticed it? Her case was moving forward, statements collected, evidence reviewed, but then that one detail pulled investigators right back to square one. Bold claim twist. The clue wasn't new. It was always there, just ignored. Picture Camila smiling in photos, wearing her hoodie the night before Christmas Eve. Picture her footsteps fading into darkness, cameras catching only seconds. Now imagine that one frame, one sound, one trace holding the truth everyone missed. This documentary isn't just about tragedy. It's about the turn no one expected, the moment hope became horror, and the unanswered questions that still echo. Who was the last person to see her? Why did she leave so suddenly? And most haunting, what happened in those final minutes? We move forward with respect, with depth, uncovering what really changed everything. On Christmas Eve, at approximately 6:58 a.m., CCTV outside the residence, located in the 11,000 block of Caspian Spring, recorded a figure, believed by authorities to be 19-year-old Camila Mendoza Olmos, opening her parked vehicle, leaning inside briefly, and appearing to search for an unidentified item before walking. Out of frame. That single minute of footage now stands as the final confirmed visual record of her presence before she vanished. Rosario Olmos, publicly identified as her mother, later stated that Camila routinely left for morning walks, a pattern considered normal, but concern escalated once she failed to return within what the family viewed as a usual duration. Inside her bedroom, Rosario located Camila's phone turned off on the bed, later placed on charge, as she exited to search the surrounding area. The sheriff's office confirmed the vehicle had not been moved, indicating she departed on foot with only a car key and possibly her driver's license. This detail removed the assumption of long-distance travel and redirected the case toward immediate area disappearance. My opinion, based on available facts, leaving without a working phone, without transportation, and without personal essentials, appears inconsistent with a planned outing, suggesting a spontaneous exit that later developed into an unforeseen situation. Public reporting described Camila as 5'4", 110 pounds, wearing a baby blue and black hoodie, baby blue pajama bottoms, and white shoes. The discovery of Camila Mendoza Olmos's powered-off phone inside the residence introduced an early evidentiary inconsistency, specifically that communication was not available to her after departure. Authorities stated that the cell phone was located on her bed and was not carried with her when she left. Rosario Olmos charged the device in hopes that a missed call or message could indicate location or intention, but no immediate notification appeared. Surveillance indicated that Camila approached her vehicle prior to leaving, but public reporting confirms she did not drive it, suggesting she may have retrieved or searched for a small item before walking away. The absence of her phone removed the traceable digital trail that is commonly used during missing person investigations to establish movement patterns. Deputies reported that only a car key and possibly her driver's license were taken, indicating limited possession of essential items. Doctor checks, vehicle interiors, and surroundings were examined for signs of disturbance. None were confirmed through official statements. Investigators did not state whether call logs or previous messages held relevant information, leaving uncertainty regarding her final communications. The stationary vehicle and inactive phone together suggest no preparation for extended travel and potentially indicate that Camila intended to return shortly. With limited digital evidence, focus shifted towards search efforts and physical ground coverage. Following the realization that Camila Mendoza Olmos had not returned and that her phone remained inside the home, the search expanded rapidly beyond family efforts. Relatives and community members reportedly mobilized, with public reporting noting that more than 100 individuals participated in coordinated ground searches around Caspian Spring and nearby walking routes. Hours passed without any verified sighting, increasing concern and narrowing the window for a safe return. The Bexar County Sheriff's Office initiated formal search procedures, deploying patrol units and canvassing the neighborhood to gather potential witness statements. Search teams focused on common paths and open areas, yet no definitive trace was located. At this stage, investigators maintained several working theories, ranging from voluntary disappearance to potential self-harm, abduction, or an unforeseen encounter. As daylight faded, the search continued, but no confirmed lead emerged to clarify her direction of travel. After days of ground searches, community coordination, and law enforcement patrols, public reports confirmed that a body was located in the area connected to the ongoing search for Camila Mendoza Olmos. Clothing on the body reportedly matched the last known description of Camila's attire, including a baby blue and black hoodie, baby blue pajama bottoms, and white shoes. The discovery altered the investigation from missing person urgency to forensic identification, marking a significant shift in tone and objective. Law enforcement secured the area, documenting the location, environment, and any potential physical evidence present at the scene. A firearm was noted near the body, but investigators stated that it remained unclear whether the manner of death constituted suicide or homicide, leaving critical questions unresolved until medical examination results could be processed. The Bexar County Sheriff's Office withheld confirmation of identity pending official medical verification, maintaining caution in public statements. In the recovery of the body, standard procedure required formal identification through the medical examiner's office, as clothing resemblance alone could not meet evidentiary standards. The baby blue and black hoodie, baby blue pajama bottoms, and white shoes aligned with the description of what Camila Mendoza Olmos was last seen wearing, but investigators stated that identity confirmation would only occur after medical review. Visual similarity could not replace forensic verification, and officials maintained caution until an official announcement could be released. Biological sampling, facial comparison, and available medical records were anticipated to play a role in confirming whether the remains were Camila's. Public reporting indicated that findings regarding identity and cause of death would be issued in the coming days, creating a period of uncertainty for both investigators and the family. Authority statements emphasized the importance of avoiding assumptions prior to autopsy completion. The presence of a firearm near the body raised theoretical possibilities in investigative discussions, yet no determination regarding manner of death was established without toxicology, trajectory evaluation, and wound analysis. In my opinion, reliance on forensic identification represented the most responsible approach, eliminating misidentification risk and ensure. Authority statements emphasize the importance of avoiding assumptions prior to autopsy completion. The presence of a firearm near the body raised theoretical possibilities in investigative discussions, yet no determination regarding manner of death was established without toxicology, trajectory evaluation, and wound analysis. In my opinion, reliance on forensic identification represented the most responsible approach, eliminating misidentification risk and ensuring legal accuracy. Once identification concluded, the case was expected to transition from search operations toward a deeper examination of circumstances surrounding death and potential accountability pathways. With the recovery site secured and evidence recorded, the body was transported to the medical examiner for formal autopsy procedures, marking the point at which cause and manner of death could transition from speculation to clinical assessment. Standard protocol involves external documentation, internal examination, toxicology testing, trace collection, and photographic evidentiary preservation. Officials stated that they could not confirm whether the death resulted from suicide or homicide, indicating that trauma analysis remained inconclusive at the initial stage. The presence of a firearm near the remains required evaluation of firearm discharge residue, angle of entry, if present, and distance markers that could distinguish self-inflicted injury from external force. Clothing appeared consistent with Camila Mendoza Olmos' last known outfit, but identity confirmation still awaited medical finalization. Autopsy methodology typically examines tissue abrasion, contusions, or tearing that may indicate struggle, restraint, or impact. Public reporting did not release details regarding wound patterns, suggesting either non-disclosure for investigative integrity or pending results. Based on the facts available, the autopsy represents the most critical turning point, as it holds the potential to expose signs of violence, firearm trajectory, or chemical influence, and without these results, no definitive conclusion can be responsibly reached. Full findings would determine whether the case escalated into criminal investigation or remained medically ambiguous. After confirmation that Camila Mendoza Olmos had not returned home, and with surveillance recording her last presence near the vehicle at 6:58 a.m., the question of location became central to the investigation. Public reporting indicated that she likely turned left from Caspian Spring and walked north along the parkway, although no verified witness placed her further along that route. No immediate footprints, disturbed ground, or personal belongings were publicly confirmed in the extended area. Search teams covered residential streets, open fields, and nearby walking paths, but no decisive trace was established during the initial sweep. Investigators acknowledged multiple theories, including voluntary departure, self-harm, or potential abduction from outside the home. Statements from family and relatives suggested that Camila was not known to enjoy outdoor activities or hiking, making long-distance travel by foot appear atypical. The absence of her phone removed digital tracking capability, leaving physical search and community reports as primary tools. Without GPS data or message routing, movement after leaving the camera frame remained unknown. Considering that the vehicle remained parked and no phone was taken, it seems more plausible that Camila did not intend to travel far, raising the possibility that she encountered someone or something shortly after leaving the property. This uncertainty directed the investigation toward reconstructing her last interactions and potential meeting points. The final confirmed sighting of Camila Mendoza Olmos occurred through CCTV footage recorded at 6:58 a.m., where she was observed near her vehicle outside her residence. No other verified visual documentation has been publicly released beyond this point. Family members provided insight into her demeanor the previous day, noting that nothing appeared unusual during their final communication on December 23, and her cousin stated in public interviews that the conversation ended with a casual plan to talk again after the gym. There were no confirmed witnesses who saw Camila walking beyond the immediate vicinity of the home. The absence of neighbors reporting interaction or observation reduced the timeline of certainty to the short clip recorded by the security camera. Family members expressed the belief that someone may have taken her outside, a statement noted in multiple reports, though this remains a theory rather than a confirmed event. Investigators acknowledged that multiple possibilities were under review, including voluntary departure, self-harm, or external involvement. Public statements indicated that Camila was not typically inclined toward nature trails, suggesting no clear reason for a long solitary walk. My opinion, the lack of witness testimony after the initial footage significantly narrows the window of her last known presence, creating a point where contact with another person, if it occurred, would likely have happened shortly afterward. Identifying anyone who saw her next remained essential to progressing the case. With Camila Mendoza Olmos's phone discovered inside the home, powered off and left on her bed, digital investigation avenues became limited at the earliest stage. The device was not in her possession when she walked away at 6:58 a.m. as confirmed by the Bexar County Sheriff's Office, which prevented direct GPS tracking or cell tower ping data from being immediately utilized. No public reporting has confirmed any outgoing calls, messages, or recent app activity that might indicate planned communication prior to her disappearance. Rosario Olmos placed the phone on charge after discovering it, but no immediate alerts or notifications reportedly appeared once powered. Without access to real-time phone data, investigators relied on interviews, physical search efforts, and digital history review to identify any contacts or patterns relevant to her final hours. It remains unknown whether authorities recovered message history, cloud backups, or social media logs, as no findings have been released at this stage. Public statements indicate that the last known communication occurred on December 23, when Camila spoke with her cousin casually and without notable distress. The inactive phone created a significant evidentiary gap. Missing digital traces often complicate missing person timelines, and in this case, it removed direct insight into her intentions or potential plans. With no live data trail, attention shifted toward potential meetings or encounters beyond camera view. The lack of phone data, absence of vehicle usage, and no confirmed sightings after 6:58 a.m. introduced the investigative possibility that Camila Mendoza Olmos may have encountered an individual shortly after leaving the camera frame. This hypothesis was acknowledged by authorities as one of several under review alongside voluntary disappearance and self-harm considerations. No evidence publicly confirms that Camila continued on foot alone for an extended distance, leaving open the chance that she met someone willingly or unwillingly soon after departure. Family members stated during interviews that they believed someone might have taken her from outside, though this remains an unverified claim and not an official conclusion. Theories involving an arranged meeting lack direct supporting data, as her phone, typically a key indicator of coordination, remained inside, powered off. Public reporting has not indicated the existence of messages or plans suggesting she intended to meet another individual that morning. The sudden transition from routine morning walk to disappearance without trace appears inconsistent with extended independent travel, increasing investigative focus on immediate vicinity contact. Considering available facts, if a meeting occurred, It likely happened within a short distance from the residence due to limited mobility and no digital communication. With no confirmed witness accounts, the timeline entered a silent gap where movements remain unknown.
Following the moment Camila Mendoza Olmos left camera view at 6:58 a.m., the timeline entered what investigators later referred to as an unaccounted period, during which no verified sightings, calls, footprints, or surveillance confirmations were publicly documented. These hours created a gap where her direction, activity, and condition remained unknown. There is no confirmed evidence placing Camila anywhere beyond the initial front yard camera scene. Search operations extended through surrounding streets, open areas, and nearby paths. Yet no physical item linked to Camila was officially reported recovered during the early investigation. Without digital traces or live signals, standard methods such as phone mapping, card usage tracking, or transportation verification could not apply. Family statements expressed increasing worry as daylight progressed with no return, and official involvement deepened as hours passed without contact. Investigators maintained parallel theories, recognizing that absence of evidence did not favor one conclusion over another. In missing person cases, the first hours often provide significant clues. Yet here the timeline remained static, shifting focus toward what could have happened during this unobserved interval. The silent gap forms the most critical missing segment of the case. Whatever occurred likely took place within this window, either by personal decision or external interference. Only forensic results, and later, discoveries would guide investigators beyond this standstill. The autopsy proceeded as the decisive phase, through which the medical examiner would determine identity and classify manner of death, although authorities had not publicly confirmed whether the case met homicide or suicide criteria. This stage represented the point at which such a conclusion could legally be reached. Investigators stated earlier that they could not confirm if the death was self-inflicted or caused by another individual, indicating that only forensic evidence could finalize classification. Autopsy procedures generally assess wound characteristics, residue presence, trajectory alignment, internal damage, and toxicology indicators to differentiate intentional harm from third-party involvement. The presence of a firearm near the remains required analysis of fingerprints, DNA transfer potential, blood spatter correlation, and gunshot residue patterns. Yet no official findings on these elements have been released publicly. Medical confirmation of identity and trauma type remained pending during initial statements. Cause of death determination would depend upon whether injuries reflected self-inflicted mechanics or external application of force, and without this finding, investigators could not legally declare homicide. My opinion based on available information, the autopsy functions as the turning point capable of either confirming murder or excluding it. Until results were disclosed, the case stood positioned on the threshold of criminal classification. Final documentation would dictate investigative direction and potential suspect review, with identification pending and autopsy results expected to determine cause and manner of death. Investigative focus shifted toward the unanswered question of responsibility. Officials acknowledged multiple possibilities, including voluntary disappearance, self-harm, or intervention by an external party. Yet no suspect designation or person of interest was publicly announced. No physical evidence released to the public conclusively indicated who, if anyone, was involved in Camila Mendoza Olmos's disappearance or death. Investigators confirmed that theories remained active and unranked due to the lack of definitive forensic direction. Statements from family members expressed belief that Camila may have been taken from outside, but this assertion remains unverified and legally classified as personal opinion rather than evidence. The presence of a firearm near the body raised further questions, but without ballistic confirmation, fingerprints, or residue conclusions made public, no clear link could be established between the weapon and any individual. Investigators referenced prior bouts of depression, but emphasized that such information alone could not support classification of death without medical correlation. At this stage, with no confirmed witness sightings beyond 6:58 a.m., no digital trail from her phone, and no publicly disclosed forensic match, determining who was responsible is not yet possible. The case remains open-ended in responsibility analysis. Any future determination would require forensic results, interviews, or new evidence to emerge. Following recovery of the body, pending autopsy results, and absence of verified suspect information. The case entered a stage defined by waiting for medical conclusions and further investigative development. The Bexar County Sheriff's Office noted that determination of whether the death involved suicide, homicide, or undetermined circumstances would rely on forensic evaluation, toxicology, and ballistic interpretation. Until these findings are released, the legal pathway toward justice remains suspended without forward motion. Search efforts transitioned into evidence review and interview analysis, with investigators continuing to assess theories without formal designation of an offender. Family statements urged answers, expressing continued distress as time progressed without clarity. Public reporting highlighted community involvement and widespread concern during the search, but official direction now depended on results held by the medical examiner. If trauma analysis, residue patterns, or DNA comparison establishes third-party involvement, the investigation could shift to suspect identification, whereas inconclusive results may hinder resolution. With limited digital footprints, no confirmed witness sightings beyond initial footage, and withheld forensic details, justice is contingent on forthcoming medical documentation and any emerging evidence, meaning closure cannot yet be determined. Until formal cause of death is released, the case remains open, unresolved, and awaiting the breakthrough capable of determining accountability. The case of Camila Mendoza Olmos stands suspended between evidence collected and answers still awaited. Official reports verified her disappearance at 6:58 a.m. from her residence on Caspian Spring, her phone left behind, her vehicle unused, and only a car key and possibly her driver's license taken. Search operations, community involvement, and investigative reviews progressed in sequence, until the discovery of a body with clothing matching her last known description. Medical identification and autopsy findings became the central deciding factors regarding cause and manner of death. Yet no public statements have confirmed whether the case is categorized as homicide, suicide, or undetermined. Without confirmed forensic results, no legal conclusion regarding responsibility exists. The firearm located near the remains introduced potential implications, but without toxicology, ballistic comparison, or trauma documentation released, the context remains unknown. Each unanswered detail holds weight, leaving investigators and family members positioned between hope for clarity and the reality of limited information. Public reporting confirms that theories remain open, balanced between voluntary departure, external involvement, or self-harm considerations. My opinion resolution depends entirely on forensic clarity. Until results are disclosed, justice is paused, not denied. The case continues forward, waiting for truth, for answers, and for the moment evidence speaks with certainty.